Christmas events are weird. I can't be the only one that thinks that Christmas celebration is kind of weird. Therefore, Christmas events at theme parks are weird. If you're new, which is a surprise, hello, I'm Rob. As most of you all know, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, where we have cold winters. My home park growing up was Kings Island Amusement Park, or you can say Paramount's because you know what, we were Paramount. I'm just not used to parks being open when it's nippy. Jack Frost just creepily assaulting you, nipping at your nose. Get off my face! I'm not used to, neither have I really even been to a lot of these theme parks that are on like the West Coast and Florida that are open all year round. In the luxurious tropical regions of America. I'm just from standard ass Midwest where we say y'all and eat buskin cookies. The city that's famous for eating that food that looks exactly the same coming in as it does coming out. No, not Twinkies. It debuted in 1982. Thriller. This is an amazing album. I have it on vinyl. I'm just kidding, I own no vinyls. I don't even know how to spell vinyl. But Winterfest debuted in 1982 at Kings Island for the Christmas season. It included ice skating on the fountain so you can feel like Charlie Brown. Until you fall and you rub your knees in pain and you look like those Peanuts characters singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Is it me or is hark just a weird word? And the Eiffel Tower was a Christmas tree. But it's not like a tree. I don't care. Paramount's came in 1992 and said, we ain't doing that shit. I'm a 90s baby. They brought it back in 2005, knowing damn well there was bankruptcy afoot. That being said, I never went to Winterfest. And no, I don't plan on going this year. That came out like I actually didn't want to go. And that was just that I'm poor and I got drunk and I lost my debit card and I'm a mess. I honestly didn't even know Winterfest existed. The Cincinnati Zoo had them beat. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's hard to defeat a backstroking polar bear, a smothering manatee house, and a flickering Christmas tree in the middle of a lake. I mean, theme park or botanical gardens. I'm out to the zoo. For holiday fun for everyone at the Cincinnati Zoo. So I went to my first holiday event at an amusement park. Christmas is weird. On one end, I like it, and then on the other end, I'm like, why? And that's probably because I went to Six Flags. And that's probably because I went to Six Flags, which is literally just lights everywhere and a show that I walked past and I didn't even know it was a show. Christmas and holiday events at amusement parks vary. I'm gonna talk about the main things that I saw at Six Flags over Georgia and some of the origins of why we celebrate Christmas in that way. And surprise, surprise, they have very little to do with Kwanzaa. I went to Six Flags over Georgia's Holiday in the Park event. In the front of the park is this large Christmas tree. I took a picture next to it. It was lovely. Evergreen fir trees produce green leaves during the winter season. Norse pagans around the Germany area and then spreading out throughout Europe saw these trees as a symbol of life in the dark, deadly winter. For winter solstice celebrations, pagans would put the largest ends of the trees inside of their fire hearths within their house. These are now known as Yule logs. Well, they were known as Yule logs, because who says Yule anymore? Branches of the tree were also used to decorate the house. Some areas also used cherry and hawthorn plants. Some people placed apples on decorated wooden structures. Those were the ratchet ones who couldn't afford a tree. Sounds like me. Christianity appropriated the tradition. They used apples as symbolism for Adam and Eve within the Garden of Eden. And the tree meant, well, I guess it was just a tree in the garden as well. Also wrapped around the tree and on the promenade, just hovering above you like the mom on Hereditary swimming in the air, were string lights. Lights are everywhere. In fact, all they had were lights. Shade, very much so. How do you shade with lights? There are lights on so many trees and buildings. They had some cool segments because they have these leafy tunnels for shade and they use it to put up lights. So lights also came from the German tradition of placing trees indoors. Trippy because they took a tree to build the house and then they put a tree inside of the house. So it's like a tree inside of another tree. Or it's an abomination to nature. That's why Mickey's tree was infested with humanoid chipmunks. It ain't right. Just kidding. But Mother Nature wasn't always on this tradition side. There are accounts that Germans would light up the tree and surrounding areas with fire sticks. This also symbolized life in this deadly dark winter. So German Christians later down the line were over here lighting candles like they're about to cut on some Johnny Gill. His version of Give a Little Love on Christmas is just automatically moist inducing. I don't think that's the same love little Michael was singing about. So these trees were pretty, but I'm not trying to have my living room turn into the woods in Bambi. The light bulb was invented and they began using these to decorate their tree instead of actual fire. Sir Joseph Swan, and I guess you can say Edison, in the late 1800s developed fairy lights, which are the colored light bulbs. And at that time they looked like maracas. Eventually it got around to being put on Christmas trees of wealthy white homeowners who were good with lighting, including Vice President of General Electric, Edward H. Johnson, who popularized the trend after doing it in his own house. That didn't sound right. At this point, the average American couldn't even spell electricity. Hell, the average American couldn't even spell. Eventually, it got being put on the Christmas tree of the White House. It got put in New York and all these famous places. In 2004, electric engineer Carson Williams from Mason, Ohio, figures, popularized this choreographic home Christmas lighting with music. And now every holiday park event does it. It's expected. Hey Santa, hey Santa, Santa. Six Flags Over Georgia has a large Santa statue holding a holiday in the park sign. I'm not completely sure why. We know, we're here. Every park has some sort of Santa. Sitting on Santa's lap, not weird at all. Wearing Santa hats, which is most culturally related to wearing witch hats during Halloween. How pleasant of a parallel. They were selling Santa hats and stockings. In 1822, A Visit from St. Nicholas, now known as The Night Before Christmas, was written by Clement Clark Moore, dreaming of this fictional character that delivers presents on Christmas morning. Yes, fictional. The real Santa is an elected official at the North Pole, a territory which conquered the lands of the original Albanian peoples. We call them elves for short. But this character came from the Bishop Saint Nick, who left gifts in stockings, and the Dutch pagan Odin-inspired Sinterklaas, who rode a white horse like he's Bad Baby. But the horse has 8 legs, so it's uncomfortable to watch like Bad Baby. And he carried a book with a list of children's names, in which some he deemed naughty. An issue of Harper's Weekly in 1862 started annual features of Thomas Nast's illustrations of Santa. They became the Santa we know today. Well, besides that one weird one on that animated film. Don't we all love the fat man that sneaks in our houses when we're asleep, accompanied by 8 large mammals, and delivers closed packages wrapped up under our flammable tree, and then eats our shit before he leaves. I'm not sure if this is the most heartwarming guy on earth or if he's a terrorist, but he's everywhere, so I hope it's not the latter. Walking around the park, you're just having a holly jolly Christmas. I was sure having a happy holiday as I rocked around the Christmas tree. I was rocking so much I almost could smell what I was cooking. I passed the little Saint Nick, and the warm fuzzies in my gut sang, "Ah, Merry Christmas Day." Right when you come to the entrance, you hear Christmas music playing. Really, once you hear those Mariah low registers? I don't want a lot for Christmas. It's over. Make my wish come true. Until you look at how much you spend to park, and then you fall on your knees. Noel, I'm broke. There was a show with carolers. I believe it was called the Main Street Carolers. And I walked straight past them as if I could carol less. They also had Looney Tunes and Stilt Walkers. The Stilt Walkers are like Nutcracker. The Looney Tunes, yeah, they're just the Looney Tunes. I'm surprised they didn't have a church's chicken thigh just walking with a scarf on. I'm surprised that Six Flags didn't have a bag of Takis and a Santa hat greeting people. Christmas songs derive from Christmas carols and Christmas caroling, which is a tradition in itself. The term carol describes pagan singing and dancing joyfully during the festive celebration, which was adopted by the church. England in the 1700s was very much an agricultural place where people farmed on wealthy lords' lands. During the winter season, when they didn't have that much money, they took the streets and let their voices flutter in the wind. And they're like, some rich person's coins better flutter in my damn hands. But actually, these carols were called luck visit songs, where groups of poor singers collected. They would wish the wealthy homeowners a Merry Christmas, get slightly more hostile as the song continues, and demand some figgy pudding at the end. Other Christmas songs that we sing today came from religious hymns, like that one song that went something like, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Oh yeah! Their origins are mainly English, Catholic, or Protestant. You know, but a few Black Baptists won't pop in here and there. You know, Jesus, Jesus, oh, what a wonderful child. There were seasonal treats such as chocolate-dipped peppermint pretzels. They have Christmas-inspired funnel cakes, basically Christmas cookies and gingerbread man toppings on a funnel cake. I'm not the most excited for that because I'm not the biggest sweets person, so I'll stick with my bread bowls and my grilled cheese sandwiches. But hot chocolate was there. That's cool. There are also s'mores. Not really Christmassy in my opinion. That's more camping, but maybe if it was chestnuts. Christmas cookies are derived from biscuits used in winter solstice harvests. These were in feasts during medieval times. They contain gingerbread and cinnamon, nutmeg, almonds, dried fruit. Interesting that I didn't see any fruitcake snacks at Six Flags. In the end of the 1800s, cookie cutters became a thing. So people started shaping cookies into stars and Christmas tree shapes. Following the Santa story, children began putting out cookies for their parents. For Santa. Other popular holiday events at theme parks outside that wasn't at Six Flags Over Georgia include ice skating, ice carving, sculpture stuff. Pictures with Santa, ice sledding, usually fake snow. Live animals as some derivative of a reindeer, or they're there to like present a nativity scene. I enjoyed Holiday at the Park. Because who doesn't enjoy an awkward Christmas celebration? I went when it wasn't really cold out, so riding roller coasters were bearable and the roller coasters were actually open. I know other parks get into the Christmas theme a little more than this one, but hey, it was fine. So what are your thoughts about Christmas celebration, holiday celebrations, and theme parks? Comment below, please share with anybody that went to one of these holiday events or is just excited about Christmas, or if they just want to see my beautiful face. Hit that thumbs up. I am Rob from Rob's Rides, keeping it 100 with all things amusement. And if you thought I was Queen Bree, hit subscribe and I'll come back with another video.